to the Well Grounded Podcast. You are here for season 2. We are back into it with a new guest this week, and we are so excited to have y'all here with us as we cover the Sisterhood of Motherhood.
We are so excited to share about all these different things that we're learning about this season. We are about best practices, embracing our current season of motherhood, and hoping to give you a perspective for the future. I am Diane.
And I am Leigh Ann.
And we are two friends sharing time together with coffee and conversations. Well Grounded is a place for grace, stories, conversations, and friendship. We're excited about this week's guest. We're going to be talking about sharing your faith with your children. And we all know that that can be a challenging, but also an encouraging time in our season of motherhood. And we're just excited about how we can talk to our guest about that today.
Yes, we got a great guest. But first, it's time for our latte moment.
We are going to have something fun today. Well, you know, we're in January right now, and I cannot think of a better thing to do in January than to have a s'mores. So I found a recipe for a s'mores frappe, and this is going to be online and in our notes, and it is just a very good recipe to be able to kick off or have during your winter months here. It has a few ingredients. You can make this as an iced drink, but you can also probably make it as a hot drink. So I do prefer that, but we have the iced version today. And you use coffee and cocoa powder. You do boiling water, obviously, to make the coffee. Milk, marshmallow fluff goes in the recipe, which I think is always a bonus. Chocolate syrup, lots of ice, whipped cream, graham cracker, marshmallows, and even chocolate for your garnish. So I can't imagine what better way to have your day here. And if it's a cold day or even if it's just a fun day, you can make a s'mores frappe. So that's our latte moment for today.
Dessert in a glass, people.
Yes,
Dessert
right?
in a glass.
Definitely fun. Definitely fun.
I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. Our guest today is my precious friend and now Diane's friend as well. As a 2-for-1 bonus on this. Kelly McMurray is here with us.
Yay!
So
Thank
good.
you, Kelly.
Welcome, friend.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are precious.
Oh, goodness. We have fun recapping after Kelly has listened to an episode, and we have some fun where she's like, I liked this part. I had to think about this part a little bit. You know, sometimes we've joked about sometimes it's even the responses we've gotten from people are like, that was a hard word for me, and I had to. You stepped on my toe. Exactly. Yes. But mostly, I think you're a Well-Grounded fan.
Absolutely, I'm a big fan.
Yes.
I came into work the other day, told her a story, and she was like, I said, I don't remember who told me the story. And she said, it was me.
It was me.
On the podcast. I said, you're right. It was you.
I was like, I'm so glad it's just blending into real life.
It is.
For sure.
And it's been fun because the last few months, as we've gone into even coffee shops and things around town, people have actually recognized us, which we think is like really funny. And we've gone into different businesses and things, and people will be like, oh, you're from the podcast. So I really think it is fun. We appreciate all of our listeners. Keep listening, liking, and subscribing, and you're going to help us spread the word.
Yes. And if you're an audio-only listener, is that what they look like?
Yeah, right? Yes, go on YouTube and find out.
Find YouTube or Instagram for sure to find us. So, but we're really excited about this conversation today, and it was such an easy pick to have you. We spend a lot of time talking about how we can pass our faith onto our kids. Yeah. And so it was an easy person for me to choose in having you come and share today. But I wanted to just let you just share for just a minute, just to the people that don't know you, like, how was faith passed on to you? And I happen to know that you had godly parents and that this was a 24/7 lifestyle for your family. And now you've been able to do that with your girls. But what did that look like for you? Like going into your childhood faith and then becoming a mom in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad was a pastor, and there was a lot of faith passed on, but honestly, not from the pulpit. It was from our house and all of the life that happened there. He passed away when I was 10 of cancer. Wow. So that's a whole lot of ministry. Yeah. And I was 10 and I saw what my mother did and how she continued to serve God and how she continued to model that reckless trust in God to us.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
my brother and my sister and I, our faith is so strong because of our mom, because her faith was so strong.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
it had to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I have to give to my kids. It's not because now my husband is a pastor, but ministry and passing on our faith to our children isn't just for pastors. It's for every single
Everyone.
believer.
Yeah.
Right.
And so all of us have that same calling to pass our faith along to our children, to train them up in the way they should go.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I have that, and I'm able to do that confidently because my mother was so amazing at it.
That's really going to be, that's a great intro, because the theme of this, even the whole series, but specifically today in this topic, is that faith isn't always, and not for everyone, but it can be a generational blessing that we get to train up a child in the way they will go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. And we know some people have shared, I'm still waiting to see that fruit.
Yeah.
But what that looks like may be different from family to family or child to child in the same family.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
it is scripture. It is truth that we lean into and hold on to. But really looking at that generational, like, things that we all, I mean, a lot of the themes of what we're talking about are things that we learned from our moms that we want to copy and to they've modeled it for us, and we want to duplicate that. So tell me some things that you're currently doing. Tell us about your girls, first of all.
Yes, introduce kind of your family.
Yes.
Things that you do, maybe a fun hobby that you have, things like that, so we can get to know you a little more.
Okay, so I'm married to Chris. He's a pastor. He's bivocational, so he also works at Disney. And then we have two girls. They are teenagers. They're in high school, Lily Ann and Caroline. And that is our hobby. We go
Love it.
to
I love
dance.
it. Yes.
And
They're
we're coming up
dancers.
on competition season, so that will be our
Lives. Yes.
So even our
I love that.
vacations.
Your
they're
hobbies
called-
are your children.
Yes.
They are called
That's
going to
be a tweet. If we tweeted,
yes, right.
we don't tweet, but if
Yes.
we did, that would be a tweet. My
That'd be
hobby
good.
is my children.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, so that's where I am at life, in life. And what was your other question?
Just
just introducing your family. So that's great.
Yeah, like just and talking about like some of the things that where you are currently, and then I want to go back a little bit to how you incorporate, because we've been using sharing your faith, but we talk about it too, and I know in conversations I've had with Kelly about this, that discipling, there are some really godly parents that love their kids and love the Lord, and they're not actively discipling their kids. They're just sort of walking in parallel, maybe, that faith is what we do, faith is what you do. But when you are really intentional about that, and how does that look now? They're both older, they're in high school. Like what's going on now in that world for y'all?
Okay, yeah. So a lot of ours, when they were little and we were saying the same things over and over again. God made you. God loves you. He wants to be your friend forever. We're memorizing scripture. We're making up cute little songs. That was great and necessary. This is a different season. We are still memorizing scripture. We are still making up cute little rhymes to those. But it is a lot different.
Yeah.
So now it is, I've made this mess. Or my friend is going through this. Or what do I respond to in this text message? How do I answer this friend in a godly way?
Yeah.
And just keeping those communication lines open with my girls as they're having those conversations with their friends, and now coming to my girls for advice, for godly counsel, for wisdom.
Sure.
That
I know
the
you
world
mentioned
does want.
you have teenagers, so do you have any drivers in the house?
We do. We have 1.5.
Yes, 1.5. So one driving and one
permit.
learning.
116 and one's
Wow.
15.
Yeah, so that's a lot too, because that just takes a whole nother level of care and concern that you have, and
Absolutely.
especially when they leave the house and everything, it does take a lot.
Building their faith and yours.
Yeah. Yes.
More mine than anything.
It's
right?
interesting. You mentioned what you've poured into the girls, what you and Chris have poured into them. Now they are front lines doing that ministry with peers.
Yeah.
And that starts younger than we think.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that in getting the opportunity to have guests on that are in different ages and stages of motherhood and with littles, or I don't know that I knew that when they were little, like how early they were going to ask deep spiritual questions, how early they were going to be putting that into practice and having to deal with other friends and how that's going to look. Because it's not just that one-on-one me to my child. They are out in the world. They are at school. They are with peers and trying to put it into practice or advise other people. So is that something that the girls have wanted to do, or are they reluctant in it? Or I don't want to call either of them out. They're so precious and love the Lord and have such sweet things to say about them. But is that something that has
come easy for them?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
I would say that it was a reluctant thing, because I feel like, that started really elementary school and middle school, and they're thinking, I got this, even in relationships that they have with friends. And I remember my older daughter, she's getting into some more complex relationships with friends and with boys in that middle school age, and she wanted to protect, she didn't want my eyes to be on those conversations.
Yeah.
Oh, like texting and stuff.
Until they got so messy, and then she didn't know what to do.
Right.
And so then she comes to me.
Yeah.
And I think, oh my goodness, if you had come to me at the beginning of this conversation or this relationship, there are so many things that I could have spoken into. And literally, it took so much
repairing or things or
say,
something. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But now I need you to help me.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we do.
And that is what we do, right?
So my younger one has seen that modeled for her. And even now, this week, my younger daughter had an opportunity to see that in a relationship that she has. And she's bottling it up. And her sister said to her, it is so much better to bring that out into the light.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Try to keep it in the dark.
That.
When you have it just in the dark and you're the only voice speaking.
That's very good.
I
love that.
Just bring it into the light.
Let's just say that again, because to bring it into the light, I mean, how amazing is that your daughter can even recognize that, and how, when you're in that darkness, that is when you find the shame. You find everything can grow, like that bitterness, that all that jealousy, the things that happen, things that you don't want to happen in that darkness. Right. And so when you can bring it into the light, how good that is to just be able to even recognize that, even at their age. So that's great.
And a lot of that root that we're seeing in teenage girls are voices that aren't God's voice.
Yeah.
They're the world's voice, their peers, their social media voices. Not that your girls are doing that, but I'm saying just in general, I think that we're addressing that, calling it what it is and saying this is a real battle that you're in, and we want you to be equipped. And we kind of, in this conversation, would love to, we probably could do 6 episodes just on the how, the why, the when, and all of that. But I just wanted to get the conversation started in the sense of like anything that surprised you in going into motherhood, going into something that was very easy and natural for you. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but parenting in faith.
Right.
Because that's your own life.
Right.
And so it's not even like a class that, I need to learn how to parent my child. It's so much of it is an overflow of our walk.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we in the Word? Then that's going to be in our mouth. That's going to be on our head. That's going to be our advice when they ask us something or when they have a messy situation.
Well, I remember when I was, I had these babies, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And they give you classes, like 4 classes, and they're like, good luck.
Yes, and good luck, yes.
But so too with our faith journey, because I think so many moms are just desperate. I want to train up my child in the way that they should go.
Yeah. But what does that actually mean?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there's just a little bit of a disconnect when we first get started. But how do we do that? Deuteronomy says that we talk about this when we sit and when we rise.
Yeah.
So in the mornings and the night times, as we go about our days.
In the car.
Yes.
On the way to dance.
Right.
All those places.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And times may change. Seasons may change. Newborn is different than toddler. It's different than preschool. All of it's different than high school.
Yeah.
But those times, those sacred spaces where you have to disciple your kids, those don't change.
Yeah.
Right. It is the same time when we eat together, when we're going about our days, when we're driving, when we're waking, when we're sleeping. Those are the same rhythms that God has given us to have those opportunities.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember many times. My kids, I had a dancer in my world, and when we would have to drive her to dance, that was one of the best opportunities that we could share time. It was undivided attention in the
Yes.
car, and you could just have those opportunities to talk to them about a plethora of different things. And then once they started driving and they could go themselves, we've really missed that. Like we
Right.
missed that opportunity that we could have to share times or delve a little bit deeper into a subject. And sometimes they don't even want to talk, and you can just sit there in silence even. And that's when my prayer time was great. So, I think they appreciate that now looking back on it and things, but I know those are great opportunities to create those moments to share your faith. What would you say, Kelly, as a practical way that, as your girls, that you actually do share your faith? Do you have a devotion time? Do you do a Saturday morning, Sunday mornings, Wednesday night? What kind of things do you do that really
Some of those rhythms that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So my rhythms, a lot of those happen in the car driving to work. So my girls know that I read the Bible. It's audible. It reads it to
nice.
me. It is beautiful, and I do that. I try to do that every year.
Okay.
So my girls are older now. They moved from that do you know the early NIRV, New International Readers Version.
The Reader's Bible.
So it's for the elementary reader.
Yes.
But then when they got to middle school and they're starting to really just dig into their Bible and learn how to journal and write in their Bibles. And so I just really encourage them, you should do it with me.
Sure.
And so throughout middle school, you should do it with me. And then about January 3rd, they were like, oh, we're already behind.
You're already behind.
Those Bible reading plans are stressful.
Yes.
So
I agree.
But one year I even said, because it's so important to me that they just really get into the Word and just fall in love with the Word of God, because that is so important in their lives. I said, I'll buy you a pair of Lululemon leggings. Read the Bible.
Incentives are always a good thing.
And I'll tell you what,
We are not above bribery.
No.
It worked for one of my
Yeah.
girls.
For godly behavior,
Yes.
bribery is where I'm telling you.
So really getting into the Word. So me modeling that, even though they're not always in the car, they might be there when I start it. If we're in the school line, I'm just going to go ahead and start it.
Sure.
So they are experiencing that.
I love it.
Before, and then as we go to bed, that's something that we do together.
Yeah.
So we get together. It might be really, really late, way past my bedtime.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's when they come home, and that's when they want to talk, and that's
yes.
when we have an opportunity to pray together, and we get to hear about their day. And that's really, really important. We don't even get a mealtime together every
a lot
day.
of times.
Sometimes
That's very true.
It's a privilege to get to eat.
It's
everybody.
the driving in the car. We drove our girls 30 minutes to dance.
Oh, okay.
For a season in our lives. We thought we had lost our minds.
Yeah.
But that season was it yielded so much fruit.
No waste. There's no waste.
And
There's no waste.
I could have complained about that and been an impatient driver, and I could have, I didn't always get it right. Please don't hear that. So there were definitely days where I said, I can't do this again.
Yeah.
But when I look back and I see how that we're not looking at each other in the eyes, we're just hearing.
Right.
There's no pressure to talk, but that's when they talk.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
So
true.
it was such a precious moment for me as their mom.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
We've all three, because I know I've had these conversations with both of you, have joked about it feels like right before they get their license, their social life explodes and they just need rides everywhere all the time. We're like, were you this busy last year? Like it's
an election?
What is going on?
Yeah.
So they're just like, we're feeling we're ready for you to be independent. We're ready for you to do this. But I think this is a good time. This conversation is a good pause to say, start as early as you can because you are going to be doing refreshers and check-ins more than you're going to get.
And capitalize on those moments that you can. I'll share one funny story. My kids would laugh because the Christian radio station in town I have on my car all the time, Safe for Little Ears is what they call it here. And the little ears have turned into bigger ears, and I still listen to it in the car, and they just laugh. They kind of give me the eye roll. And when they were younger, we always played music in their rooms. And so my son right now, who is 15, he'll have music on, and sometimes I'll change the station to the radio station, and he's just like, Mom, seriously. I'm like, well,
reset.
When you go to sleep at night, this is the best thing that you can be listening to. And I said, it saturates your brain. And so it's just really funny, but I know how exactly what you're saying about that, taking those moments, those time to be able to to share your faith. And I think that's an encouragement to our listeners, that sharing your faith isn't like, okay, let's all sit down at the table, I'll have this time, because realistically in this day and age, that's not going to happen. It's very hard to
You may set the standard, and it may happen every once in a while, but if you feel like, oh, we failed because we're not.
Then you're going to be disappointed.
You're not going to
give up. It's like the Bible reading plan.
Right.
You're going to give up by January 3rd on that.
I think a great point today is just to say you capitalize where the moment leads you and where that can happen.
Be alert. Be aware.
Yes.
Because they're all around.
Yeah.
And if you take advantage of those little opportunities, you're not going to sit down for these big formal things. Although I'm sure there are families that do that too. Yeah. But in our life, that's not what it looks like at this season. So you just take advantage of the little moments that you have.
Yeah.
It's just like when I glean from people that are just a little bit farther. That's what I love about you guys so much. And just go back and listen to listen to your podcasts over and over again. So they're gleaning from people that are just a little bit farther than them. Yeah. And that's by design. That's how God has designed us to grow from each other and glean from each other's fields.
Yeah.
And the Bible references spiritual maturity is not an age thing. Is that you're going to probably find that you may have several children. You may have 2, you may have 3, 4, whatever. And this child is just spiritually alert and just a sponge about it. And another child might be more practical in their walk. They can still build faith and they can still get stronger in that, but they're not asking like the deep theological questions about everything going on. They're just taking things a little more in stride. So also offering what you have to your child and then seeing what they need back from you and then resourcing them up, in those conversations and things. But I think that is, we wanted to highlight the teenage years.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, but you are, and I just
she does encourage me on the regular.
I am so proud of you. I am not at all like that joke about being a little bit ahead. And half the time, all of our conversations are, you're not crazy.
Yes.
You're doing great.
Absolutely.
I am. I don't feel like I am. So much of sharing with other moms and sharing with people walking through this. But I want to say, and this came up in a conversation with my sister-in-laws and with my even my oldest daughter, Julia. We were talking about how crucial those middle school years are. So you're laying a foundation when they're little, right? You're reading books, you're reading Bible, the Reader's Bible, all of that. Yeah. But when you talked about like switching gears at that middle school age to journaling, to being more proactive and like kind of releasing them to have their own walk, it's not just the imitating anymore. It's like, what did you get out of that? And I don't know if you remember telling me this, but I know that's something that she has done is they read the passage and then what did you glean out of that? And letting them practice teaching it to someone else, even if it's their own moms. You
give me that stage where you were, when they were little and you're just saying those things over and over again, but there is a time where it's, you are modeling it, and we will always continue to model it. Right. But it is releasing that, and that's why motherhood is such a sacred journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the outcomes, we have to relinquish all of that. And now all of a sudden, we're not telling them things. Yeah. Now we are coaching. Yes. Now we are your support person.
Yes.
I was telling Leigh Ann a sweet story. So my oldest, had her heart broken in middle school. And I had this moment where I thought, I have guarded her heart so well. But here she is. She'd made this choice and her heart wasn't guarded. Yeah. And so I thought, I haven't taught her how to guard her own heart well. So let's correct that. Let's go back. And I had to ask for her forgiveness in that. Yeah. And I literally just told her that same thing. I've always guarded your heart so well. And this time it was for you. It was your own conversation, your own friend, your own relationship. Yeah. And I wasn't able to guard your heart for you, and I'm not going to be able to in the future. Yeah. So it's a very big learning moment. How to do that.
For sure. That was a great, not to say that you we all don't want our kids to go through
Right.
trials and tribulations, but they will, and that's the truth. And so, not to feel that that's any sort of a failure or anything on your part. I mean, I think you just have to realize that those are learning opportunities, learning moments, times that you can then be, and they will use that later in life to be able to teach someone else. Even that's what I always love. when I
Those will
can
be
use
the
those.
things that strengthen their faith.
Yes,
And for you to verbally acknowledge it, I
Yeah.
mean, they talk about like apologizing to your kids and doing those things to say, hey, we couldn't see what was around the corner in this, but
Right.
we're here now. And it is going to be something that, as much, I'm always going to be here for you. But
Right.
if
And
something
that's-
comes up, I want you to have the muscles.
That's
spiritual
how the
muscles.
teenage years are.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing. We could have done better. Let's try
Yes.
this better.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
gain more
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
We're going to put the training wheels back on for a second.
Yes.
And then we're going to take them off. We can do
Let's
this.
reread chapter 1. Let's go
Well,
back.
we have thought so much about the whole sisterhood of motherhood, this theme that we have that we're threading through every episode this season. And we just love the fact that we're connecting with so many different moms with, ages and stages and experiences, life experiences. One of the questions that we want to ask all of our guests is, what would you tell your younger self? Like, if you could tell your younger self something, what would you think, what would be good advice? What could you tell your younger self?
So I'm sure other people will be in this camp too, but struggling perfectionist. Before I had kids, I thought I'm going to be so good at this. And then I had one. I'm like,
Yes.
I would definitely tell myself to take it easy. Just take it easy on her.
Yeah.
This is the new season for me to have a 15 and a 16-year-old. And guess what? As soon as I get that done, they're going to be 16 and 17.
Yeah.
So take it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
I can
That's a
take
great-
it easy on
great
my
piece of
friends
advice.
when they
Yeah.
have hard days. I can take it easy on my husband.
Yeah.
I can take it easy on my kids, but I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah,
To
just-
take it easy. I
That's
love that.
good.
That's good advice. That's a good little tip
We do
of
give
wisdom.
grace to others
Yes.
more than to ourselves.
And we should extend
Absolutely.
that same grace to ourselves.
Yeah.
But I know I struggle with that too.
I definitely would agree.
so good.
Do you have a verse and things that, like, as you've, anchored yourself in motherhood, is there a verse that you kind of keep to, that you always go back to, that you're always drawing that strength from?
So, I would just continue to say that the Deuteronomy 6 verse.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about when God's people didn't have written word and they could only remember what they were told by other people. And they had to be so grounded in what they knew and what they heard from other people that they internalized that.
Right.
We take advantage. We can just open up our Bibles and read this. And so we are to
They didn't have
love
the
the
cell
Lord
phones.
our God
Right.
with all of our
The Bible app.
hearts.
Yeah.
And that's what we're modeling for our kids. And those are the opportunities that we have. So as far as a parenting journey, I really just try to keep focus on those. I can't do everything. But
Yeah.
in the four walls of my house, I want to do these four things really well. These are the times that I want to really take advantage of. So
Can you share those 4 things? I know you like.
Oh yeah, from
Yeah.
Deuteronomy
Yes,
6.
yes, share those.
So we will, they say you're going to write them on the door frames
Yes.
of your house. And, a lot of people do have them written on the door
Yeah.
frames of
Yeah.
the house.
Hobby Lobby
Yeah.
will help you with that.
That is correct.
You need a sign.
Yes, lots
So
of great
when I
signs.
sit and when I rise, when I go about my day, and
Yeah.
when I am coming home. So
Very nice.
Those are
And
the,
you do,
those are the
and
times.
it covers you. The neat thing about that passage too is that it's covering all aspects of life.
Yeah.
It's meant to be
Any age.
just continuously
Yeah.
doing this,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So it's just that constant thing, and how that looks in those practical seasons, just looking to monopolize
Right.
on that. So
And then in Luke, when it says that Jesus, and we're modeling for them how Jesus grew. Jesus grew in wisdom and in stature
Yes.
and in favor.
I love that verse.
And so that's what, I can't, you look at the whole Bible, it's so overwhelming. But if I can focus on these 3 little things, growing them in wisdom, growing them in stature, and growing them in favor with God and man.
Yeah.
Those are measurable things that I can
good.
handle the little measurables.
I would definitely agree with that. So when, as your kids have grown in things, what's some fun activities that you guys all like to do as a family, and maybe something that even, have you gone on a missions trip before? Have you done things where you've gone and shared your faith with other people?
Okay, so my girls are in the general population of public schools, so we've been on missions since day one.
Okay, yes.
So that used to look like when they came home from school. Now we're going to talk to these people. Do they go to church?
Oh.
They know where their church
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And then they would this was like
Inviting?
assignment.
They invite
And
Yes.
so the people people that we had play dates with or invited over for sleepovers on Saturday night, those people were people that didn't go to church.
Yeah.
So and a lot of those
Very
relationships,
strategic. Yeah.
it was very strategic. Now they have all of these classes and all of these friends, and that gets a little bit harder. But so on mission, we did just get our passports to go on a missions trip.
Oh, wonderful. That's so nice.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. But we're weird, and we like to go and do. We don't like to be home.
Okay.
My husband is very, very high energy, so we just like to go.
Adventuring
Go and
husband.
do.
Yes.
This is the place for
We like
adventuring
to go
husbands.
to Disney. If we have like 5 extra minutes, we're gonna go and we're gonna make something out of it.
Nice.
So we like to go to our little
Keeping
coffee
on the go,
spot.
going to places,
Yes.
and being out there is great.
And for my husband, that's the time where he can really connect with them, because
Sure.
it's not all this pressure to have this conversation where you're
Yes.
face to face with one another.
Yeah.
You know, you're in line, you're laughing and joking and
Yeah.
talking
Shoulder
about
to
things
shoulder
around
time.
you.
Sure.
And then that's when all of a sudden we hear all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're like, we really need a chance where we can go to Disney.
Yeah, they do share
because
more.
they do.
They do.
They kind of let their
Yes.
guard down, because they're relaxed and able to do
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah. So we're goers
I think
and
that is
doers.
definitely a challenge, that as your kids do get older and they get busier, it's like coming back together to have those moments. And I think always creating that space that they have a safe space to do that. So because as things do happen, they will have frustrations, they will have challenges, and so that they can know that home or your car or things is their landing place, that's a place that they can always feel safe to conversate and talk about things.
We're not
too.
going to overreact.
Yeah.
What did you do that for? But
Yes.
okay, let's swim out. How can we get out of this
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we could keep you for so long.
Yes.
We just want to make sure that we are, being respectful of your time too and everything. But we have all the great verses that you have shared with us. We're going to have in show notes.
Yes.
And one of the things that we're building into this series is time to dig a little deeper into the spiritual themes
Yeah.
of this. And
Love
so
that.
we're going to take time to do that.
In our next episode.
Yeah. So we'll have
Yeah.
a follow-up episode, and Diane and I will dig more and share more, and anything that you think of off camera that you want to share
Yeah.
with us, please,
can add to
please
that.
send it to us. So we're so
Definitely.
grateful for you, and just
Well,
so,
I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you for
this is
letting
a-
me glean from you,
Yes.
and even inviting me to do this, because I'm
Yeah.
so not equipped to share with any other
Yes,
mom.
you are, and
It's
that's
just a
gonna be
coffee
clear.
and
I
a
think that's the
conversation.
That's going to be
Yes.
clear.
It
you
is
guys,
the
so,
sisterhood.
yes.
And I
so-
think even, Leigh Ann, you've shared before, is that, we do share that instant connection with moms. We share that instant connection that when you see a mom, even at the grocery store, even somewhere that we don't always, we know we have that connection. And that's what we really wanted to bring to life here with the sisterhood of motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
we can relate to every mom struggling in that grocery
Yeah.
line. Been there, sister.
Yes.
Been there.
Yes.
Correct.
So good. Where you're trying to block them from not reading the magazines at that stage, or
Asking
begging
for
for
candy.
things, asking
Yes.
for things, right? Remember the no
Definitely.
candy line when Publix started that?
Yes.
The
What?
no candy line. So
We
it was
didn't have
like
that in
it
Virginia.
was like it was just an option where you could go through and anyway.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay. We need to
Yeah.
share our verse.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so-
we have a verse that we're using for the sisterhood of motherhood, and Leanne's going to share that.
So Hebrews 10, 24 and 25 has really been speaking to us in this series. And we just want to kind of refocus on, let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds.
Yes.
Not giving up, even with our kids. Meeting together
Yes.
as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching.
Yes.
So we're keeping our eyes on Jesus. We're focusing on that and
Yes.
encouraging. So as we close, we always like to just leave you with some encouragement here. We want you to be refreshed
Be encouraged and
and
stay well grounded.